Don't have any way to do an Instagram live because of the technology I have doesn't really permit it.
Right? Is that a religious decision that you made?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. So I don't have it. If I was at home, I can make exceptions. I have like an old dusty thing that I have, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, so my phone is kosher phone. It's a smartphone, but it's a kosher phone. It's Nativ. I don't know if you're familiar with them in Israel, or the base din of Bnei Brak gives a hashgacha. So yeah, you can't put Instagram on that one.
Got it. Well, it's pretty impressive that you have a nice big Instagram following without
I have
having
a
to
good
pull attention
team,
to it.
a very
Great.
good team of people who take care of it for me. Thank you.
For the kids to see the ability for someone to be a chassid, the real
Right,
deal, but to
right,
get up there and make music and have fun, and they
right.
realize they could have both. They could have Yiddishkeit and they could be cool. They could be
Right.
happy and lively.
And
That's
they can be themselves, and that's the biggest part for us is that we don't realize how cool we actually already are. Hashem gave us all the cool genes we need. It's just a matter of whether or not we own it. A lot of people are good at things that they think are just really insignificant. But like it says in the with the Miraglim, and also too that they saw that they were grasshoppers, so everybody else saw that they were grasshoppers when they were going into the land. So the thing is that if you don't see yourself as a grasshopper and you see that even my little thing that Hashem gave me is big, like then you can inspire many people and you will be just as cool.
ability to allow yourself to have a suffix and not be intimidated that
Right,
that I'm broken. That's
right,
something wrong with my amuna. You know,
right.
this is a big topic I speak about, and that is I'm more worried about a person who never has a suffix than a person who has a suffix. And in English, for those who don't understand, I'm more concerned about someone who doesn't have any questions about their faith than a person who
Mhm.
does. Because
Right,
if you don't have any questions about faith and God, what is your faith? Are you really thinking? Are you alive?
right,
Are you
right,
are you just a robot? And like when you have
right.
God is hiding from us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game. We'll call it the
Right,
game. That's the
right.
test.
Hide
So
and seek.
right. So if I have a suffix, that means I'm perfectly normal. If I have a doubt, that's perfectly normal. Now, how do I, like you said, how do I?
Absolutely. How do I go about it and to double down on the faith? Because it's like I heard one time one rabbi say that like a person who brags that they never got a speeding ticket but they never drove, it's like silly, right? So if unless you don't know really what it means to have true and pure and complete faith unless you've experienced not having.
Probably the most common question I get on my account is, how do I convert to Judaism? So converting to Judaism is a serious process,
Yeah.
and it's not easy. That's what I tell people. And you've gone through a long journey to do it.
Right.
You're the real deal. What message would you have to a person who's interested in converting to Judaism? Is
Mm-hmm.
it something you suggest for
Mm-hmm.
everyone, for some people? Why or why not?
Well, definitely, I can't suggest it for everybody. I just feel like if each person has to know themselves that if they're really having a very strong pull and desire and feeling that this is something that they really want to do and commit to, I'm so committed to living a Torah lifestyle that I'm really ready to give up everything in order to do this, as where a person has to be. And if they are that way, then it would translate to not only to the community, but to the rabbis and the Beit Din, the court of rabbis that they will have to go through in order to finish the conversion. One of the things that I've seen over the years, people, there's a lot of reluctance a lot of times is because people don't stick with it. It's very hard for people to continue, or sometimes I don't think it's always that people convert it for the wrong reasons. I think sometimes that people become very, very excited and ambitious about things, and they didn't spend a lot of times on the what we would say the panemius, the inner meaning of things, and they rather focused on things that were more on the outside, the chitzonius. And so that excites them, and then they're ready to join based on this outer thing, but not looking at the deeper, inner part of Judaism. And now rabbis converted you. You can't undo your Judaism. And now we just have more sin coming into the world because you obligated yourself to,
Right.
613 mitzvahs, and now the rabbi just brought more sin into. So it's really a heavy task on the rabbis when you really think about it.
That's a big responsibility for the
Right.
rabbi to say, "Hey, I just gave you this, these obligations, and
Hmm.
you're gonna bring, the opposite of blessing to yourself if you can't,
Right.
follow
And
it."
and not only that, because we're a nation and we're all to some degree all responsible for another, it brings the whole entire nation down. If somebody comes in and they're not serious about their Judaism, and they're not wholehearted about keeping and upholding the Torah to the best of their ability, and they come in and they don't do it, then it brings the whole morale of the nation down because now there's Jews not keeping the Torah. But the truth is that people are always asking, like, why did you choose this? Why did you choose Orthodox? Why did you choose Hasidic? Why did you choose Bresla? Like, I never had like Yiddishkeit on like a plate and was like, this is 31 flavors of Yiddishkeit and I'm choosing this. It never happened that way. For me, it was much more so of discovery of self, like we talked about in the beginning, is like, what drew me into Yiddishkeit was I was spending many hours of personal prayer, his Bodhisattva. And one of the things I think that I wouldn't say eclipsed my growth, but really challenged me was after I moved into actual Jewish community, which everybody was Gavaldic and sweet, and I experienced Chesed like I never did before. But one thing that was very hard to come by was a longing and I guess a great longing for spirituality and closeness to Hashem I didn't find by people. And I had that like was reverberating through my bones like fire, right? I really wanted to be close to God, and I was spending a lot of time in personal prayer. And when I moved into a community, obviously that practice waned when you realize that nobody else was as excited about it as you are. And then you start feeling maybe it's not such a Jewish thing. It's kind of foreign. Nobody else does. Everybody just davens 3 times a day. They send me to the kollel. I mean, to the kollel now. Now I'm learning and I have to sit with this rabbi. And you sort of get restrictive. And then you sort of, to some degree, lose your fire, what you had in the beginning.
You
And it
felt it was
wasn't
like robotic. Is that what you
yeah, I
felt?
felt it was very robotic and
Habit forming?
yeah, very habitual and and I was learning great things. It wasn't like I wasn't being intellectually tickled, you understand? But there was something about the spirituality part, that fire that like I came to Judaism because I was reading the book. These are the people of the book. Where's the fire that was in the book? Where'd everybody go? What happened? So it wasn't until I came across the Breslov Reform. First was I think by Rav Arush's book that was really tremendously helped me, The Garden of Peace. But that led me into the Breslov books, which was one of the first ones and most impactful was Hishtapchut HaNefesh, The Outpouring of the Soul, which was a whole book, taking from wherever Rabbi Nachman or Rabbi Natan of Breslov talked about personal prayer and prayer in general. And that was like, this is what I was looking for. I knew this already.